Hello everyone, welcome back. Now we're going to start looking at how to recreate this composite and how we can use all the AUVs that we outputted to tweak the ocean and get a more realistic look and be able to customize it. And what we did is, this is the final comp out of Nuke, and what we did with our renders is to use OpenColor.io and the ACES workflow, and I have these three passes which are everything we've rendered. So I have the ocean cliff, I have the ships, and I have the atmosphere. So let's load in the Atmo. So this is the atmosphere, and the colors right now are not the same like we had them before in Redshift Viewer. The reason for that is because we used a LUT to preview everything, and Nuke has options to apply similar or the same LUT. So I'm going to press S here. I'm going to go to get the project settings. I'm going to go under the color tab and change this from Nuke to OCIO and change this to ACES 1.0.3. And now you can see this change it to sRGB ACES, and this is how our render looked like. And it will look 100% the same as in Redshift if we apply that LUT file. And this is our atmosphere, and these are the ship passes. Okay, so that's pretty much it, and we're going to start compositing all of this. I'm going to put down a merge node and add the atmosphere on top of the render. Now this render pass, you see it's 1632 by 765. I lowered the resolution so it's faster to render, so I'm going to put down a reformat node and change the resolution to 1920 by 900. And now if we overlay it on top, it should match perfectly. I'm going to use a plus mode to add the atmosphere, and I didn't include the background because I wanted to have control over that in Nuke, so we will recreate it using Nuke 3D projection. And then I have the ships. Now with the ships, we had that custom shader called occlusion and reflection occlusion. It's also here, and what happened is, for some reason, I liked the result, but for some reason the reflection occlusion, all the AUVs were included in this pass, even though the ocean was not visible. So what happened with this is I don't have proper alpha channel. If I press A, you see that I have the ocean and the ships, and luckily I have a mask called ocean, and this doesn't include the ships. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put down a shuffle node, and this is a good chance to talk about the shuffle. So we have all the AUVs here, and right now we're looking at the alpha channel. To view an AUV as an RGBA, we need to shuffle that, so we move it from its original location into the RGBA. And by default this node doesn't do anything, and all we have to do to basically bring up an AUV or move it to the display is to select here and pick the channel that we want. And in this case, I'm interested in the ocean. And this is going to give me the green color. Now I'm going to use another shuffle. I want this color to be copied to all the other channels. So this is how we do it. I can set the green here to be black, and you will see everything disappears. Or I can fill any of these channels with white or black. So I can set the red channel to be full white, but instead I don't want this. I want to copy what's in the green channel into the red, the blue, and the alpha channel. So I'm gonna tick all these four, and you can see now we have alpha channel, and it looks white. So the other thing is, if we look at this color, we're in sRGB space, and if I press the alpha, you'll see it changes white. The values are not changing. If we look at the viewer here, the values are not changing, but this is because of the ACES preview. It needs, the range for reaching white is much higher, and this LUT supports working between 0 and 50, for example, and we're not there yet, so that's why the color here looks grayish. But if we press A, we see the alpha channel as white, and the reason for that is because the LUT never gets applied to any alpha channels. Any LUT, it never changes the alpha channel. So let's use this and remove this part from the alpha channel. So I'm gonna use a merge node. I'm gonna set this to out. And I'm gonna say keep everything from this input that is outside this white information. So you see we get the inverse. This is what we're keeping. And we have this small line I'm gonna ignore for now, but we will be able to fix it later. So this is our ships information, and what I'm noticing, let's merge this. So first we have the ocean, and then we add the atmosphere, so these two passes, and then we merge, we add the ocean, the ship on top. And I see this pass here, this light, I wanted to have control over this light. That's why I increased its intensity for this pass. I think it's 10 times brighter, just to make sure that I get enough information. So what we need to do is we need to break this pass and recombine the lights. So if we look at the original ship pass, I have sky pass, which is the sky dome, and I have a center light. So I need to shuffle each one of these and combine them. So let's create a shuffle node and call this sky. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to say this center. And now we have each one of them. Sorry, I still have to change. So this is sky and this is center. I'm going to use a merge node and combine these two. So I'm going to use a plus mode. And after doing this, these AUVs, they don't contain alpha channel, so we need to restore it or copy it back from what we did here. And we're going to do that using another shuffle copy. Not shuffle, but a shuffle copy. And what this does, we can copy data from one input into the other. And by default, it works, it copies the alpha channel without having to change anything. So I'm going to say, sorry. Yeah, let's do it again. So the first input is where we want to copy, and the second input is where we want to copy from. So this is my, sorry, the other way. The first input is where the alpha is coming from, and the second input is where we want to copy it to. So if I press A now, here on this pass, you see that this section has alpha channel. And with the center available as a separate AUV or a separate pass, I can gain it down. And I can increase the skylight. I think it's too dark. And now let's combine this. And that's our passes. Now we have this line, but we will fix it. We will fix it later. And that's pretty much it for this video. We'll continue in the next one and take a look at all the AUVs. Thank you guys for watching, and see you in a bit.